It is the Riot Podcast. This is the Tuesday, April 4th edition. For the start of the show today, I have here, we talked about Five Guys a few times recently, and I actually happen to have here a Five Guys head honcho, the director of operations for Five Guys International, has explained the 3 reasons why Five Guys is so expensive. Would you like to hear?
I would like an explanation. I feel like I deserve an explanation.
Yeah.
Because I love Five Guys, but I can't really go that often because it is so expensive.
It's a lot. And so this is what the director of operations for Five Guys International says. 1, Five Guys is expensive because the way they source their ingredients to keep them fresh, that adds to the price tag. Nothing is frozen, but that's also what Wendy's says, and they're a lot cheaper. So that's explanation number 1. Number 2, he says it's because of the quality. People come to Five Guys for a simple, great American burger, and that's what they get here. I don't understand why that makes it more expensive. That's just nonsense. It's just a bunch of filler words you're making up.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
And then the third reason why Five Guys has to charge so much, according to their director of operations, is because that all of the toppings for your burger are free of charge. Except for like bacon and cheese. But like if you want onions, tomatoes, ketchup, A1 sauce, all that stuff, all of that for every burger is free, right? And so that is included in the price of, even if you're just getting a regular burger, because it has to even out. People that get a lot of those ingredients added on can't, like they're getting a better deal. But
I get it plain.
That means if you're getting it plain, you're getting ripped off.
I am getting ripped off.
Yeah, you need to
I agree.
You need to start popping a whole bunch of other things on that burger just to get your money's worth.
Yeah, Five Guys is expensive. It's a darn shame because it is good food, and I like their fries. I like their burgers. I like being able to go in there and snack on some peanuts. It's a whole experience.
You didn't mention that as one of the reasons, but I feel like that counts too.
And I just wish it was less expensive. I do.
Isn't it weird too when you go into Five Guys? I always thought it was weird, their decor, like all of the stuff posted on the wall where it's like, the fries were pretty good, Poughkeepsie Inquirer, or whatever. Like, why are they? I
don't get it.
I don't understand
They have a weird
that
marketing
either.
scheme.
Yeah, and you're already there, so you're already going to eat it. So why are they trying to like post the reviews like they're trying to convince you to eat?
See, the thing is, too, is like if I were to get rid of one fast food restaurant and never eat it again,
yeah,
I wouldn't pick Five Guys, though.
What would
because
you pick?
even though it's expensive, and I don't get it very often, I still want to be able to get it every now and then.
It's still good to have it as an option. It is.
I want to have it every now and then, but there are the restaurants that I would consider that are less expensive, more convenient, but just not as good, that I would be totally fine with getting rid of forever.
So if you had to pick one fast food restaurant to get rid of for the rest of your life.
Popular one?
Yeah.
Oh, this is an easy one for me, and this is going to ruffle feathers. It's Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. Where would you go at 3 a.m, though, if you're hungry?
Wings Over, McDonald's, Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake?
Home.
I love Steak and Shake. I do enjoy it, but you think Taco Bell's drive-thru is bad? That like it has a bad reputation, right? Steak and Shakes is so much worse.
Steak and Shake is also bad, but also I'm not really doing the whole 3 a.m. Taco Bell thing.
You don't do that very often?
I haven't done that in probably years. I don't even eat Taco Bell. I haven't eaten Taco Bell in like a year. Probably. I'm not a big fan of it.
So you've already kind of eschewed it.
Yeah, I've never been a Taco Bell guy. So for me, if I got rid of it, I mean, in the past 3 years, I've probably eaten it two or three times.
Yeah.
And so it's just not really for me. I'm not a big Taco Bell fan. It kind of grosses me out. I'm not for it. What about you? If
I had to pick one, I have 2 in mind, and I guess the one I might choose might be Chipotle. Because I haven't, much like you at Taco Bell, where you just haven't gone. I don't think I've been to Chipotle. I mean,
I like how you say it.
What do you mean? How do you say it?
Chipotle.
I don't think
you really enunciate it.
I don't think I've been to Chipotle in probably, I'm talking several years.
Really?
It might have been 5 years since I've been to Chipotle.
5 years?
It may be, yeah.
That's crazy. I go there. I haven't been going there as much as of late, but there was a period last year when I was going there like 3 or 4 times a week.
Chipotle I could do without, and the other one, but it is cheaper. So like in some towns, maybe it'd just be good if I was on a road trip. I might like to have this as an option. That's Burger King.
I knew you were gonna say Burger King,
but I don't go to Burger King often, so that would also be an easy one for me. If I had to strike one fast food place from the world, it might be Burger King.
I could get rid of BK as well because I don't do it very often, but I like Burger King. I just never really get it. I always prefer McDonald's or Wendy's. But if I could keep it, I would keep it, and I would get rid of Taco Bell. It would be my kick to the curb.
That's
for
a tough
me.
one. That's a tough one. It just serves a need. Like there's only a few places open all night, and sometimes you don't want McDonald's. And a lot of times, have you had this experience? You go to McDonald's after like 9 o'clock, sometimes even
Close.
earlier, and they say, "Sorry, we only have drinks and desserts." And then you order
Wild.
like a McFlurry, and they're like, "No, we mean drinks and like the cookies. We mean
We
tea.
have apple
we
pies.
we have sweet tea and cookies. That's what we have."
Yeah, wildness.
Yeah, so
Not for
I
me.
can't even count on McDonald's. That's
See,
why I need to keep Taco Bell around.
See, for me, Taco Bell's a no-go, but Chipotle, that's a definite for me.
All right.
I do like the Chipotle.
Obviously, a fantastic show that is going to follow all of this nonsense. And then maybe for tomorrow's Would You Rather Wednesday. So, as always, if you've got a good Would You Rather for the show, text it into 8772 Radio U. Include your name. We might include you on the show. Isaiah, anything to add?
We'll see you guys soon.
Let's just let the show speak for itself. We'll catch you tomorrow.
It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Actually, talking of dating, got a good dating question. What's the most awkward thing you've ever seen somebody do on a date? Or, if you want to admit to it, is the most awkward thing you've done on a date. But text in anybody that's seen anything awkward on a date. Let me know at 8772 Radio U. What do you think, Isaiah? What's the most awkward?
I don't know if I've ever done anything super awkward.
Uh-huh.
If I have, I probably didn't realize it was awkward, and she probably thought it was super awkward.
Uh-huh.
So that's probably why that didn't work out. But have I seen awkward things? See, the only thing that I've seen that I feel like this is a lean back on that people constantly talk about is the same side of the booth sitting. Which seems like a big no-go.
It's definitely awkward when you see other people doing it.
But I think that my thoughts on it have come around.
Just like the people sitting in the same side of the booth, you've come around to the other side.
Yes, I have. I've come around to the other side.
So
I don't think it's that weird
You're
now.
pro same side sitting.
I'm not pro same side sitting, but if you're doing it, I feel like I get why you're doing it.
And why is it?
I think there's a myriad of reasons. It kind of depends where you're at, but I think it gives you the opportunity. And I've thought about this because I've seen a lot of people doing it. And I'm like, why the heck do they keep on doing this? And people always talk about how it's weird, but there's a lot of people who I see doing it. And so what I've come to the conclusion is either you're trying to share your food and it's more efficient if you're sitting next to each other.
Okay.
Is one reason. Another reason, maybe the gal that you're with is a cold person.
She's cold.
She could be a cold, because some restaurants are cold. I've been cold places
that
before.
That is true. That's fair
And so
assessment.
maybe he is like a heater for her. And that's the thing. And I think it's not that weird, because I think about the times when I'm like sitting next to a girl, like if we were to fly together, or go to like the movies, we would be sat like that. And so I think it's not as weird as maybe it's personified as.
I was wondering when you bring up same side sitting if it looks awkward, but maybe there's some level of jealousy when you see people doing that. You're like, wow, they're so in love.
They're so affectionate.
Yeah,
Look
they
at
actually
them.
care about each other.
Hand on thigh, just cuddling up a little bit.
They enjoy each other's company.
When you're sitting across, it's like me going like to dinner with my friend. You know, it's not. It's
what
not
is this?
anything.
A business luncheon?
Is this an interview? Am I getting interviewed here today?
That's. I mean, that said, you wouldn't do a same side sit on a first date.
No way.
Absolutely
That'd be an
not.
aggressive maneuver.
That'd be a crazy move.
That would be a wild move. I've never same side sat
At all?
But never. But I think I'd be more open to it now.
I'll admit that I've been.
You've done it, haven't you?
I've done it once that I can think of, and I had a good reason for it. It's because me and my wife were out for Valentine's Day. We went
Romantic.
to an Italian restaurant, Buca di Beppo.
Love me some buca.
And it was, Buca di Beppo is, if you've ever been, they split it all up into different tinier rooms instead of just having kind of like, like a normal restaurant. And so in this room that they sat us in. It was Valentine's Day. It was crowded, but there was also like a mother-daughter Valentine's Day dinner type thing. And so it was a table of like a million, moms and daughters. And it was so loud that the only recourse my wife and I had to be able to enjoy our Valentines and hear each other speak was sit on the same side of the
So
booth.
a hearing thing, okay.
Yeah, that was
makes
our
sense.
situation. If you're in a loud restaurant, it can be effective.
What about if it's a double date? Are you sitting on the same side
That's
as
always
your
a tough one, isn't it?
significant other, or are you sitting on the same side as your guy friend?
Usually, I think I wind up sitting same side sitting on a double date.
Same side sitting.
Yeah.
Interesting. See, for me, when I've been on double dates, it's not like a double date where I'm with like my girlfriend. It's a double date where I'm like on a date with a girl with my roommate Andrew or something. And so if I'm on a double date with my friend and we're meeting two girls that we don't really know that well, we'll sit on the same side.
That makes sense.
As if we're interviewing them, right?
That's right.
That way we can both see them across the way.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it was my girlfriend, then I would sit on the same side as her and I would want to chat with the other couple.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk to Andrew when we're on the double date together. I want to talk to the girls.
So you want to be able to
him.
make eye-to-eye connection. That's what Sarah said. Sarah said same side sitting is awkward, and when you're still getting to know each other, you need to look into their face. But after you've been dating for a while, you don't need to see the face anymore.
No, you don't have to worry about it.
Which
it's
is
the only way I
weird.
can hold down the food. It's if I'm sitting on the same side as you. That's probably what she says.
8772 Radio U. I guess we got two questions. One, same side sitting on a date, for or against? And two, what's the most awkward thing you've seen people doing out on a date?
This is Radio U's Worst of the Riot.
What are your thoughts on same side sitting on a date, for or against? And then two, what's the most awkward thing you've ever seen or done on a date? We are getting some pro same side sitters checking in, just saying every once in a while, it's not so bad. Change things up. You know what I mean?
Mix it up a little bit.
But first date, early on, maybe it's a little aggressive. We also had Brian text in. Brian said he was a teacher. He was going out on a date with a gal, and he didn't know her very well, so he brought one of his high school students with him on the date.
It could have been a
As like
college student.
Well, then he would be a professor, wouldn't he?
I guess so.
To break the ice a little bit, and it worked out because they got married. Not him and the student, him and the gal he was going on a date with. So
wild story there.
But that brings me to a point, which is many of the awkward things that maybe to an observer would be awkward, or if they don't work out, seem awkward. It's all depending on the results.
True.
If it works out, if it winds up, winning you the gal or the guy, maybe it's not that awkward after all.
Yeah, it's not that bad then.
If they appreciate it.
If you win them over,
yeah,
then it's not awkward ever.
Now, I have a follow-up question on this,
Mm-hmm.
and that is, let's say, like you've, if you've gone through a few relationships, and maybe you don't realize, in the heat of the moment, the breakup, it doesn't go well or whatever, and then as you grow, as you mature as a person, you realize, well, I did some awkward things, some stupid things in the relationship.
Yeah.
When do you go back? Do you ever go back and apologize out of the blue?
Oh, that's a great question.
Because
Do you
here's
ever
what
go
I'm
back and say like, "Wow, what an idiot I was"?
Yeah, because this is something I've considered.
Whoa.
This is something I've considered because I went through a few relationships that lasted a while and turned out badly eventually, and you realize later, well, that was a dumb thing I did.
Well, wasn't that
But
silly?
then you also haven't contacted the person in years. So how weird would that be?
I mean, I think it's all time period. Depends how long it's been.
And the relationship and what you did, right?
And then what they're
like,
doing
there's just
now.
no cookie cutter answer
If
for that.
you have a new girlfriend, or if she has a new boyfriend, no way you go back.
You just
and say a
never
word.
reach out.
You just don't say anything.
That's kind of how I felt.
But if they're still single, and you're still single, I think you can reach back. Not saying that you want to rehash anything.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But I think if you wanted to, and it's been less than probably 2 years, I think you can come back and say I was an idiot.
Less than 2.
I think less than 2.
Less than 2 years.
Over 2 years, like that. I mean,
it's in the past.
They're
Forget
over
about it.
Yeah, this is you're too thinking too much about it. But if it's within 2 years, I think you're okay. If they're still single, you're still single. You can reach out and say, "Hey, I was stupid. I'm not trying to get back together with you, but I was dumb, and I will admit it now."
See, that's the way I picture it is. Even though I'm happily married, if I reached out to somebody I used to date, a gal I used to date, and go, hey, I just want to apologize for that thing years ago. I feel like that would be read as, oh, he wants to get back together.
Yep.
Which is not happening.
That's what would happen.
But that's how it'd be. And if somebody did that vice versa to me, hey, I want to apologize for when we were dating years ago, I'd be like, what are you doing? I'm married. Why are you reaching out to me now? So
it's been 5 years.
Yeah,
Why in the world are you trying to contact me and apologizing?
But then it feels like, apologizing feels like the right thing to do, and you realize you were wrong. And especially if somebody you were really close to for a while, you really hurt them. But
yeah, sometimes you just got to soak it.
Yeah.
You just got to soak it. I think 2 years.
Sleeping dogs lie.
Just let it roll. They're probably over by now. You can admit you're an idiot.
They're probably thinking about it less than I am.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
What do you think of this? We got a restaurant in Japan. It's called Daebu-chan. And they've instituted a wild new policy where they will no longer allow customers to have smartphones in the restaurant. They are not allowed to use smartphones while they are in the restaurant. Would you go to a restaurant that didn't allow you to have your phone?
I would.
Yeah, you do it? Does it even matter the reasoning, or you'd be okay with it?
I think I'd be okay with it. Not like every time.
Yeah.
But every now and then.
Even if you were going alone?
As long as if I'm going alone, no way.
No?
I'd have to be there with friends. If I'm going by myself, there's no way I don't have my phone out.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as
I need my phone out if I'm by myself. If I'm going to sit down in there by myself, I'm not going to just stare at the wall. People watch, I guess. But also, I just feel so disconnected, alone. I feel awkward.
Yeah. I feel like you do need your phone if you're sitting somewhere alone eating.
Yeah, I just would feel awkward, I feel like.
I know nobody else would be looking at you.
Nobody cares about you.
You'd also feel like everyone else was looking at you. Like, why is that guy being the creep, not looking at his phone? But let me give you the reasoning behind why this restaurant decided this. It's a ramen noodle restaurant. And their owner found a couple things. One, that seating times were getting kind of out of control. People were having to wait too long to get to their seat. But then, on top of that, they'd get to their seat and they'd be watching YouTube. And then the owner and the chef was upset that people weren't digging in. Like when the food came out, they would continue watching whatever they were watching on YouTube and not dig right into their food. And he says that not only does it, take up people's time that are waiting to get into the restaurant, but it also messes with the integrity of the noodles. He says the noodles are stretched out and ruined after they sit in the soup for too long. So the people are holding up everybody else is trying to get in and watch YouTube videos, and they're messing up their own food experience. And so he popped this idea out on Twitter. People were in favor of it, and now if you go to Daebu-chan in Japan, they will not allow you to bust out your phone and start watching YouTube while you eat.
We're talking about ramen here, right?
We're talking about ramen. It's different in Japan, though. It's not like the 10-cent stuff you get at the grocery store.
I mean, I hope so, considering he makes it sound like he's at this fancy place.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that it's quite the experience here.
I mean, maybe now that you're not being distracted by your phone, you can really understand.
You can really just dig in.
You can enjoy the experience of eating these noodles.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I'm fine with it as long as I'm there with people. But if I'm alone, no way.
But what if everybody's alone?
And then what's he going to do? Well, let me ask you this, though.
Okay.
What are you going to do about it?
You
going to kick me out? I pull out my phone?
What he has done is he has not posted signs in the restaurant, but he's started speaking to customers individually about keeping their phones put away during mealtime.
That's wild.
So he comes over and talks to you.
If there's no sign, and I'm going to this restaurant, and you walked up to me and said, "Sir, I have to ask you to put your phone away," I'm going to say, "Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to give me my money back."
You can't ask for your money back for that.
Well, then, yes, you can.
you can ask.
Yes, you can.
He's not going to give it to you.
Then I'm not giving my phone away. No shot. I'm a grown adult. If I want to have my phone out in the restaurant, I'm have my phone out in the restaurant.
Then he's going to respectfully ask you to leave.
And I'm going to respectfully ask for my money back because that's my experience.
He doesn't have to give you the money back.
Then I don't have to leave.
Yes, it's his private property.
So I have to leave because I pulled my phone out in his restaurant?
Yeah, you do.
That's a wild ask. That's the 0% of the time he wins on that. No way.
There's 24 hours in the day. You can take 5 minutes and sit and eat your ramen
I know.
noodles.
That's what I'm saying. He needs to post it. He needs to put it up in the store or in the restaurant. If you just come up to me in the middle of my dinner at Texas Roadhouse and say, "Sir, can you please put your phone away?" I would say, "Sir, can you please get the heck away from me? Do you even work here? Who are you?" Ask me wild things like this.
I don't think that's how he does it. What if he comes up? This is how I picture it. He walks up to you. He puts his hand on your shoulder. He says, "Hey, saw you had your phone out there. We here at David Chan, we take a lot of pride in our noodles. And we find that when you have your phone out and it's distracting you from eating the noodles and letting the noodles get cold and stretched out and ruined, we find it really detracts from the experience. So why don't you do a favor? Why don't you do yourself a favor? Put that phone away. Focus on the noodles."
So you know what? Thanks for the advice, buddy. Thank you for that. Be on the way. I'll see you later. It's nice meeting you.
You need to disconnect.
You talking about disconnect?
You need to take a break.
He needs to post some signage. Say we prefer you not to use your phone in here.
I think
I'd be a little more deterred. If you walk up to me rando, ask me to put that thing away, no chance.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
We've heard some rumors swirling in the past about Tinder basically coming out with a subscription service for rich people, for rich singles that wanted to get out there in the dating world and have maybe a little bit of a leg up. And now we're starting to find some more details out about what they are supposedly calling Tinder Vault. Tinder Vault will be the premium subscription service for Tinder if you're willing to pay either $500 a month.
Whoa, big difference.
Or $5,000 for a year. I wonder if they refunded that too if you wind up like getting married or whatever. You know what I mean?
$5,000 a year?
What if you sign up for the I'll pay the year up front and then you meet somebody like 3 months in. You still have to pay for the other 9. You get that refund.
Oh, you're paying. You're locked in.
If you have enough money to throw $5,000 to Tinder, maybe you just chalk that up, you know?
I guess so.
But what comes with Tinder Vault when it finally is, because it's still an if, they're working on it, but it's still not confirmed. Not only would it give you priority, it put you in front of more people, you'd be one of the first options for people to swipe on, but they also say that it would include a personalized concierge service. Okay.
All right. What does that mean?
They put it here as a 24/7 pickup artist advice service. Is how they put it in this article.
How do you get that job?
Yeah, I think we're qualified.
What kind of credibility do you need to be able to get the pickup artist support line job?
Yeah, I'm a dating expert. I work for Tinder. I tell people how to get dates.
They don't work.
It's so easy to give dating advice when you're not actually involved.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Oh, it's super easy because you don't care.
Yep. There's no risk on your end. You don't care about the result.
You aren't going to be the one that looks embarrassed or is embarrassed. So for you to give advice to somebody else, it's really easy.
Yeah.
For you to actually do it yourself, much harder.
That's why we love doing it here on the show.
Hey, you know what? I'm doing it.
You're living it.
I'm living it. So for me personally, everything that I'm saying is tried and true.
I mean, yeah, you can say that, but it's also the tough thing about dating is like, what is the mark of success? You know what I mean?
You're looking at it.
That's right.
You are looking it in the face.
I guess so. It also includes a premium passport that would give you access to Tinder's most active and influential members. So like influencers? Is that what I'm hearing? Kind of like a Raya situation?
Sounds kind of like Raya. Sounds similar.
Yeah. So I mean, you're paying Raya prices to get in on this. So
with no Raya people on there.
You don't think so?
No chance.
You don't think any high profile people are on Tinder?
No.
They just go straight to Raya.
Or
they just date through Instagram or whatever. Like,
I mean, when you're that high profile, you're just getting DMs every day.
I guess I'd like to think you are, right?
Yeah, you're not going on
I mean,
Tinder.
if you're a woman, you don't even have to be high
like you're not
profile.
gonna see Harry Styles on Tinder. I'm sorry even if you pay this $5,000, Harry Styles isn't paying $5,000 for Tinder. You think he's having
He doesn't
trouble?
need to.
You think he's having trouble dating? No.
Yeah. So this is so what? I mean, you're kicked off of Tinder, right?
I got kicked
That's
off.
the one you got banned from.
Not because I did anything wrong.
No.
Because they said I was posing as myself. Which obviously I wasn't. I am myself.
But if they let you back on, would you consider this Tinder Vault subscription?
No chance. $5,000 a year or $500 a month. I think that if you want a girlfriend or boyfriend that bad, you're searching too hard. You're going to end up with somebody that you don't like anyway because you're going to force it. Take it easy. Take a step back. You have plenty of time. Just cool it a little bit. You don't need to pay all this money. It's not going to help you anyway. I don't think it's going to help anyway.
Just like we mentioned earlier, giving dating advice when it doesn't actually come down to you. You know what I mean? It's no risk. There's some people out there that are going, yeah, but I really want somebody.
I know you want somebody.
The hardest thing to do is to not try.
I know you want somebody, but you're going to force it with somebody, and then what's going to happen? You're going to waste even more time.
That's also crazy advice because, not that it's not right, but you would never tell anybody that about any other thing. Like, yeah, I know you really want that job, that career. Just don't even try. Just stop trying so hard.
Or if you wanted a job so bad, you're like, I need a job so bad, I'm just going to work at McDonald's. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work at McDonald's.
That's what's
going to happen.
Yeah.
And instead, you could have gotten a nice, crispy manager job at Panera. You could have been over there just pushing back bagels. You're over here on the fryer.
If you just stopped being so desperate.
If you just would have waited another week and you didn't force it on that first application.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
I have here a list, a survey of the biggest tech icks that people can do. I'm going to go through this, Isaiah. You tell me if you've ever done any of these. The top one on the list, 31% say this is an icky thing when it comes to tech. Playing music out loud on your phone in a public place.
Big no-go.
You would never do that?
There's no shot I would ever do that.
I'm with you on that one.
That's a wild thing to do. Like if you're on like a bus, if you're at like a restaurant, if you're like outside around people, no way should you ever be playing music on your phone.
It's a wild thing, right? We all like there's AirPods and stuff these days.
If you don't have headphones, you're not listening to music. I'm sorry. You can't do it. You cannot do it.
I know it doesn't happen anymore, but I used to ride the metro a lot, like the subway.
Mm-hmm.
And there was always somebody on there that for some reason on their phone just playing music for everybody to hear. We don't care.
Who do you think you are?
You can barely make it out anyway. It's loud, but it's also like it's not a good quality. You can't tell. Like there's other sounds going on. And if you don't have your headphones with you or something, the Bluetooth like the battery died, you're just gonna have to sit there.
It's always the person with the worst taste in music too. It's never like a song you want to hear.
Yeah.
They're never playing something you want to hear.
No, but that said, you can do this if you're playing Radio U. That's the only exception.
Well, you're playing us, of course.
Yeah, obviously. Number 2, saving people in their phones under cringe nicknames.
That's pretty...
Have you ever done that?
It's questionable.
In your contacts?
It is questionable what you're saving it under, I think.
What if it's work wife?
That's lame.
It's lame to even call somebody your work wife.
Yeah, you can't be doing the whole work wife thing.
Given.
I think if it's like your significant other, you can have a nickname for them.
You put them as significant other.
You can have them as something. It can't be too cringy. It can only be so cringy. But if it's your friends, you have their primary nickname.
Okay.
Like if I had Andrew, my roommate, I could call him Drew. If I wanted to on my phone, it wouldn't be weird.
Does that even count?
Yes, that's a nickname.
If you had him in there as Hound Dog.
See, that's different.
That'd be weird?
Yes.
Would that be cringe?
That would be cringe.
That'd be an ick?
If it's not like a true nickname off of your name, then you can have him in that. But if you're calling him something crazy or calling her something crazy, you can have that there.
What about using, this is similar to the phone, but people that use like speakerphone while in public?
Good question.
Because, see,
I would lean no.
The flip side of that is like having the Bluetooth headset too, and that also feels like an ick of like, oh, you have an important conversation you got to have right now. That also feels a little icky, although I don't know that that's up high on the list. But it's, I mean, I guess the speaker's definitely worse. We don't all need to hear what
I would
you're
lean
saying.
no.
Yeah. Pictures of your own self as your lock screen. You've done that. I know you've done that.
Well, it's me and Jim.
I questioned you on it.
It's me and my dog.
It's still that way?
No, now it's just Jim.
Only Jim.
Just Jim on here now.
Yeah, that's appropriate.
Yeah, before it was me and Jim, which I feel like I think if it's you and somebody else, that's fine.
Yeah, no, you're right. If it's
But if it's just a photo of you.
If it's a dog though.
Well, that's like Jim is like my son. Like if it's a picture of you and your son, then you would have that as your lock screen. So Jim's my son, so it makes sense for him to be my lock screen with me. It was a good moment for us. It was a happy day.
Well, we
were going to the pool.
It just might be a little icky. 20% of people think that's
it's
an
not
ick.
just me.
What about having like a dirty phone or chips, cracked screen? That was 18%
I don't
of people.
mind the chip screen. Sometimes you just can't help that.
I've had a chip screen or a cracked screen for a long time, but it doesn't interfere. And I don't know, we just talked about money. That's a big expense sometimes to get your phone, to get a new phone. People that don't take their AirPods out. What do you think? What do you make of that?
Like they're always in there?
They always have them on. You don't know if they're listening to something or if they're listening to you.
I think that's fine.
You think that's okay?
Because I lost my AirPods about a year ago.
Yeah.
And if I still had them, I'd wear them all day at work. I'd have them in at all times.
I don't know how that would be perceived.
I would love it. I mean, obviously not during the show, but the rest of the day I'd have them in all the time.
And then we'll do the last one. Lock screens with inspirational quotes.
That's the lamest thing.
That's lame?
I think that's lame.
But
this quote, you know what? You can have one quote.
Uh-huh.
You can have your quote that is your quote.
Something that you said?
So, no, that's not something you said.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying you can't be rotating quotes. Like, if you're going to do the quote thing, this better be your lifetime quote. Everybody gets one.
Oh, okay.
You can have your thing, and that's your quote, whatever. If it means something to you, that's fine. But if you've got, like, a rotation of quotes that you're finding that we need just one, you can have one.
I rotate through quotes.
You rotate?
So I can get inspired differently every day.
No.
Like opportunities don't happen. You create them.
You need one quote.
You need that reminder. But after like a week, it gets stale. So I got to switch it up. I got to go, it is never too late to be what you might have been.
It's too late.
No, it's not.
If it is too late.
That's a reminder that I needed.
If you've got that as your lock screen, it is too late.
You need that every once in a while.
You're not going to be who you could have been.
You got to switch it up so it's a fresh thought.
Screen.
So you continue to be inspired.
Thanks for watching the worst of the riot. Since you made it this far, you might as well like, subscribe, and check out riot.radiou.com for even more riot.